pretty small crew tonight, so if it's comfortable for you, I invite you to come up, sit close, and just be in the song nice and tight with us over here. And we're going to sing this a bunch of more times in a row right now just to get warmed up. There are some words that go with it. It's a song from Hanukkah, and the words are Hanerot, Halalu, Anu Madlikim. Those are all the words. Hanerot, Hanerot, Hanerot Allah. Same thing again. Hanerot, Hanerot, Hanerot Allah. Anu Madlikim. Anu Madlikim, Anu Madlikim, Hanerot Halalu, Anu Madlikim. You sound so good, Hanerot, Hanerot, Hanerot Halalu, Hanerot, Hanerot, Hanerot Halalu, Anu Madlikim, Anu Madlikim, Hanerot Halalu, Anu Madlikim, Hanerot, Hanerot, Hanerot Halalu, Hanerot, Hanerot, Hanerot Halalu, Anu Madlikim, Anu Madlikim, Hanerot Halalu, Anu Madlikim, oh Anu Madlikim, Anu Madlikim, Hanerot Halalu, Anu Madlikim.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's nice to be together as we bring light into the darkness. I hope that these last 8 days of Hanukkah have been meaningful for you as a source of connection, a source of light, a source of friendship and community, a source of hope, and a source of healing. Whether you need that because 3 hostages were killed this morning by, unfortunately, as an accident by Israeli soldiers in Gaza, because your brother is at the end of his life, or because you're worried about your grandchildren or your parents. Whatever it is, we need some light in this darkness. I don't know about you, but I feel a little sad that Hanukkah is over because I've been really relishing in the joy that that brings. And so tonight, I invite us to hold on to a little bit of that light that we found over these last eight days, however you found that light, from whoever you found that light. I invite us to hold on to a little bit of that light as we call out from the depths, as we will say in our next psalm, which can be found on page 450, Mima Makim, as we call out from the depths. We hold on to the light. We pray for more light. When I used to live in San Francisco, my house that I lived in used to overlook the bus stop that I had to take in order to go to services on Friday nights. And I would always be a little exhausted. I was a classroom teacher at the time, and I would say to my 10 roommates that lived in the house called Sugar Magnolia with me, I would say, you know what? They'd say, are you going to go to services tonight, Sarah? And I said, I'm just going to wait and see if I need it. And when the 22 bus comes around, because it turned around on Fillmore Street right at our house, I said, you know what? I'm just going to wait and see if I need to go to services, if I need to be there. And I would just wait and see, what do I need? Because Fridays, sometimes we're exhausted. It's been a long week. It may have been a hard week emotionally, physically, however it's been. And then it felt like week after week when the 22 would roll down at its very slow pace, so slow, it would take me like an hour to get down to the mission. I always felt, wow, I actually need this. And I would sprint down from the kitchen to the bus stop, board on it just before it took off up the hill. And that's how I felt tonight walking over here. I need this. We need this. We need to hold on to the light. We need to be together. We need to sing. We need to pray, because we all feel a little bit in the depths at this time. And we all need this light, these prayers, and one another to hold into Shabbat. You'll find the words for Psalm 130, which we're going to sing responsively on page 450.
I also want to add that if transliteration is more comfortable for you, it's transliterated on the handouts at the top there. And just speaking of accessibility, we have some lights if people need a book light over here. We also have some magnifying sheets, like big magnifying glass things that also have lights on them, if that's helpful. And we also, if you're somebody or somebody that you're with is someone that might be overstimulated by the music, we have some headphones that block out some sound, and we also have some earplugs. We're doing a lot of work here to make sure that this is a warm and welcoming place for everybody. So, Psalm 30. Shira malo b'mamakim keraticha Adonai. Adonai shima vekoli tiyena oznecha kashuot lekol tachanunai.
Adonai shima vekoli tiyena oznecha kashuot lekol tachanunai.
Im avonot tishmor ya Adonai mi ya'amod.
Im avonot tishmor ya Adonai mi ya'amod.
Ki imcha slicha leman tivarech.
Ki imcha slicha leman tivarech.
Kiviti Adonai kivta nafshi velidvaro chalti.
Kivita Adonai, kivita nafshi, velidvaro chalti.
Nafshi l'Adonai mishomrim laboker, shomrim laboker.
Nafshi l'Adonai, mishomrim laboker, shomrim laboker.
Yachel Yisrael el Adonai, ki im Adonai hachesed v'harbe imo vedut.
Yachel Yisrael el Adonai, ki im Adonai hachesed v'harbe imo pedut.
V'hu yiftei et Yisrael mikol avonotav.
Hu yifte et Yisrael mikol avonotav.
We'll continue now on page 10 with Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid nefesh
continue on page 20 at the red triangle with Romemu.
I want to just embarrass Aaron for a second here because Aaron was my camper like 11 years ago, a camper ma, and he asked if he could drum like a few months ago, and there's no audition process, so I had no idea. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, whoa, Aaron's really good. This is so nice. So just like kind of tearing up over here playing with you. Thank you. How many copies of Yedid Nefesh in a row do I have? I got to the right one. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachtavu le'hakosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachtavu le'hakosho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachtavu le'hakosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachtavu le'hakosho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachtavu le'hakosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachtavu le'hakosho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. We'll now continue on page 22 with Anna Bakoach reminding us, giving us permission to loosen up some of those knots of all different kinds that are holding us hostage in our bodies, in our spirits, inviting us to invite in a little bit of relaxing, a little bit of hope, a little bit of love. Page 22. Next month, on January 27th, the composer of this piece that we're about to sing Joey Weisenberg, is going to be here at the Alliance giving a concert, and he'll be also at services a little bit in the morning. And so first of all, I want to invite all of you to come be part of that. You can sign up now already online, and thank you to the Alpert Family Fund for making that possible. We're really excited about that. And Joey is really into reinstilling a sense of rhythm into Ashkenazi Jews. And Avi's got it. And Joey talks about how in the synagogues of Europe, where you have a lot of hard surfaces, big resonant rooms where you can sing to a lot of people without a microphone, it also doesn't work well to have everybody clapping along or playing a drum, because there's just a very long reverberation. And if you want to read more about that, in the book How Music Works by David Byrne, he talks all about how the spaces that music was created in influenced the music itself. So Joey likes to help us now we have kind of more acoustically calm synagogue spaces, and when we get close together like this, we actually can have a good sense of rhythm. So I want to try something. The beat in this next piece is like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So every time I say 1, that's when we make a sound. We try it. You can like tap on your leg. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the hardest part is not speeding up. And what I like about, I'm first of all impressed. A lot of people are doing it totally right, and the people that aren't are trying really hard, and that also matters. But there's a richness in the length of the space between the notes. It's like a whole world of time. So when I'm trying not to speed up, I'm what we call subdividing. Avi knows all about this. So I'm not thinking 1, 2, 3, 1. I'm thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3. Or I'm thinking 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2. Like just, the more and you could divide infinitely, because there's so much space, so much potential between each beat. So I invite you to kind of subdivide in your head so that we don't speed up. And let's try it together. I'm going to try to keep that rhythm going on the guitar a little bit too. You can drum along too. Anna bikoa gedulat yeminka tatzil terura kabel rina tam chasavinu tareinu nora Anna bikoa gedulat yeminka tatzil terura kaverina rina tam chasavinu tareinu nora
ever since I was a kid, people have called me a dreamer. As John Lennon said, some may call me a dreamer, but I think I'm not the only one. I really believe that. I know that because in this week's Parsha, this feels quite echoey to me today, we read about Joseph, the dreamer. He was a dreamer who saw possibilities in the future, even in dark places. And he was many times in the dark places, in the pit that his brothers threw him into, imprisoned in Egypt as a slave and as a prisoner. And each time what gets him from one phase of his life to the next, what brings him to a better place, is his ability to imagine other futures, and not only that, but to make them happen. He has the audacity in this week's Parsha to speak to the Pharaoh and interpret the Pharaoh's dreams and say, Pharaoh, I have a solution to this problem. Nobody else in Egypt can see a way out of this famine. Not all of the other wizards and interpreters and magicians in his court. And this slave, this prisoner, has a dream out of darkness that there's a better way, that if we only get together and we work together and we collect up our grain together, that we can save it for the famine years that are to come, and we can all be better off. What an amazing thing to look to the future that way. It's actually, unfortunately, rare and weirdly courageous, even in its simplicity and understanding. Like, you read the story of Joseph, and of course that's the interpretation of the dream. And of course that's what he brings forward, but he's the one that comes forward and says, folks, we can do this, right? I believe in that kind of leadership, frankly. It's not that I believe in single, the single, big man of history that drives historical events. But I believe in leadership. I believe in the practice of leadership as visionary, as having a vision, helping people get to that vision. That's what I want to see in this world, right? In these dark times. That's what I look to. I believe all of us can be dreamers. I think dreaming is, you can tell me all the reasons why something's not possible. But nobody ever got to where they were going without aiming for the stars, without navigating by the stars. And having a vision for the future. So we're going to take a moment in just a moment to share a little bit with the people around us. And the kavanah, the sharing that I want to invite us to do as we let out the stress of the week and whatever it is that feels constricted and narrow right now, whether it's about the war in Israel and everything about that, the hostages, the death of civilians. I want to believe that there is a way from dark places to better places if we dream, if we have the audacity to believe that something better is possible. We don't have to know how to get there, but we have to dream. So whether it's about Israel or something in your own life, I want to invite a moment of dreaming and to manifest that dream by simply sharing it out loud with somebody next to you in hopefully a moment of chevruta and trust and kindness, just to say, what is something that you are dreaming of, that you simply see in the future, the horizon that you want to see. So let's take a few moments. We'll come back together on page 23 and then page 25 for Lecha Dodi, and we'll sing our way back in just a few moments. So take a moment, wish the people around you a Shabbat Shalom, and share a dream. Share a dream that you are holding right now in your heart.
Not so much for me. I'm not so much of a dreamer. I'm much more of a straight, get it done. Take things too practically type person. I'm much more of a practical person than a dreamer.
Seated, page 28 at the arrow.
I promise I'm not going to do this for every service until January 27th, but that melody, also a Joey Weisenberg melody. Tzadikata marhidra Erez balvanon yizgeh shetuli bebeit Adonai
transition from Kabbalat Shabbat, from receiving and welcoming the Shabbat to the evening service to Ma'ariv. I invite you to turn to page 39A and rise as you're able to. And before we sing the Baruch Hu, the call to prayer together, I invite you to join me on the left side of the page in English, where it says the community and prayer. Prayer does not depend on religion in an institutional sense, nor on dogma or creed, but rather on true heartfelt feelings that arise when a person recognizes that one's surroundings and one's friends are not there solely for one's own happiness, but instead these relationships give rise to an obligation whose source is in life itself.
וחי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המרי ברבים.
We continue on page 40 at the top of the page with Ahavat Olam, with timeless, eternal love.
Ahava,
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 Ahavat
Olam, Ahava, Ahava, Ahavat Olam, Ahava, Ahava,
turn to page 41 for the Shema. We'll turn to page 44 for the Micha Mocha. After we complete page 44, we'll have some time for personal reflection and prayers. The silent Amidah begins on page 47. Page 44 now.
ומרים ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה מלכותך ראו בניך וקיים לבני משה זה לי ענו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וביהלום יד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני God Israel.
And the Amidah can be found on page 47 for the prayers in your heart.
invite mourners and those for whom it is your custom to remain standing for the mourner's Kaddish on page 58. And I really believe that if you'd like to have a seat for a moment, you can while I talk. That when faced with grief and mourning, perhaps the most powerful thing we can do is to bear witness. Simply be present to other people's grief and to bear witness without judgment, you can't judge a person's grief, right? Simply to be with them and bear witness. And my colleagues here know this, and we've all, in recent days and weeks, borne witness to a great deal of suffering and grief and mourning, far away and close to home, in our community and around the world. So I simply invite bearing witness and holding this space for grief for a moment as we invite mourners to rise and invite others to bear witness as we do in this prayer by responding as a community. And so I invite you to rise as your custom, page 58. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'gala u'vizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei olmaya yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the memories of all of our loved ones, those who have fallen in violence and war, be a blessing and an enduring source of comfort to their loved ones. You'll find the song that we're going to sing on the song sheet, the last song on the sheet. כי היית נסגר לי ומנוס ויונצר לי. ואני אשיר עוזך ורנן לבוקר חסדך, כי היית נסגר לי ומנוס ויונצר לי.
Get a lot of opportunity to do weddings here. And some people come with their own special Kiddush cup, but I kind of love the fact that sometimes a couple will say to Rabbi Grunwald or I, you provide the Kiddush cup. And one of the reasons I kind of love that is because it means that any Kiddush cup that we use on any Friday night might end its fate, might to be smashed under the chuppah at a wedding sometime in the near future. And I kind of love just holding that hope. And of course, the smashing of glass is a bittersweet symbol in itself, but as we move towards saying the blessings, I'd like to hope that this Kiddush cup is one of those that one day might be celebrated with a cup of joy at a wedding. It's a hard time, and at the same time, we hold the bittersweet nature that there is so much beautiful community and support and things happening here at the HEA and in the wider community. I'm so excited to be sitting next to Lily Gross, the program director at Hillel, and a close friend and just special person in HEA. We're going to join Lily and the DU Hillel community for Azamra next month. It is an important time to sit together and sing and support college students as anti-Semitism is on the rise. And frankly, for those of you that have college students, I know those are in the room, we want to sit with children like yours. And so next month, on January 19th, Azamra will be that Friday at DU. And so we invite you to join us. There'll be more information coming about that. Tomorrow, we have the bar mitzvah of Zach Horwitz in the sanctuary. And next, in the Bay 4 in the social hall, we also have a few very special speakers, survivors of the October 7th attacks from the Western Negev, Ofer and Roni, who will be speaking at about 11:15, sharing their stories and experiences over in the traditional service, and then also doing a Q&A here during Kiddush lunch. So we invite you to come and bear witness, as Rabbi Grunwald said, and to hear their stories tomorrow. On Sunday, we're doing a special interfaith program at the GYC across the street from 4 to 6 p.m. with the Mosaic Multicultural Foundation community. They'll be joining us for dialogue and a potluck dinner. We invite you. That's open to people of all ages, 0 to 100 or 120. And we invite you to join us. More information about the website and a lot of important moments to be together for the community. And before we rise for blessing our children and Kiddush, I just want to recognize Avi. You may not know this, but Avi is the head of school at DJDS, and their school has actually welcomed in how many families from Israel? 16 students over the last few months. And so I just want to thank you and your community for that incredible mitzvah. And I'm sure it's not complicated in so many ways to welcome in students from any country and to just welcome them in. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of all of us for that, and all of you who are touching the lives of so many in different ways. So let's rise together as you're able to, and let's bless all the children, those that are here and those that we have in mind, who could use some blessing, those that are near and those who might be very far. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yikunecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
And Rabbi Shulman, you were talking about Kiddush cups for weddings, and this is a Kiddush in the wedding musical mode.
Wow. Eitan just can do anything.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shavat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'chaleta ve'otanu kidashta im kohanim v'shavat kodecha ve'yava v'ratzon inchatzanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
My friend Jonah is going to help us out with Hamotzi. Can you hold these two chalot? Okay, you got it. Ready? Okay, here we go. We're going to give you a count to three. Chad, shtayim, shalosh. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Yasher koach, Jonah.
We'll end with Shalom Aleichem, and then I enjoy anyone who's staying for dinner to join us in the social hall where we have tables set up for dinner.
And just to let you know, we are in social hall. We're a little more intimate tonight, so we want to fill up most of the tables first. If we can break up the other tables, we will. We really want to be close together tonight.
Thank you, Morning. Thank you to all our volunteers for helping us out tonight. We'll conclude with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon, Nimelech Malachei Alakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Vochem Leshalom, Malachei Hashem, Malachei God. Shalom Aleichem. Oy, 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 Vimelech Malachei Alachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'tzeitzem l'shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Vimelech Malachei Alachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Aaron, so nice. Really, you could stay sitting. It would be a good height for me giving you a hug. Me setting up. That's really Thank you so much.
You too. I'm so sorry I'm going to miss you